Well, good morning, fellow constitutionalists. These are my morning thoughts for September 7th in the year of our Lord 2015. And I want to talk to you a little bit about soundbite liberalism. And I've been running into this almost on a daily occurrence where people leave comments on things I post on Facebook or other places I post things like my blog. And they say things like there's no mention of the Bible, God, Jesus, Christianity anywhere in the U.S. Constitution. And they heard this soundbite, and this is why I call them soundbite liberals. They hear the soundbite that invokes an emotional response, and since they feel that it's an emotional response and it makes them feel something, that is correct, that it should be, it's fact almost, because it invoked an emotional response, and they won't research it any further than that. It just sounds good. It goes to their thinking and their indoctrination of what they were indoctrinated in when they're in school, that, you know, this is not a Christian nation. The founding fathers were not Christians or anything of the sort. And I have this article I read on the show. You can go to my episode of 363 on blogtalkradio.com/Dan-Clements. This is my latest episode I put out. And I read this article by Dr. David Miller, Christianity and the Constitution. Now, I read that in the show, so I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but I want to read the last statement that he makes in this. And this is one thing I like about Apologetics Press, and I like about Dr. David Miller and all the folks over there, is they reference, they give footnotes. And this is a big deal to me, especially when we're talking about things like this, because they reference what they're talking about. They can prove exactly what they're talking about. And the final paragraph in this article, I encourage you to go read that. It's called Christianity in the Constitution. You can Google that. It'll pop up. It'll pop up at Apologetics Press. You can go read that. It's a very good read. And Dr. David Miller does a really good job. Let's get this straight, and this is by Dr. David Miller. The Declaration of Independence contains 4 allusions to the God of the Bible. The U.S. Constitution contains allusions to the freedom to practice the Christian religion unimpeded, the First Amendment. The significance and priority of Sunday worship, they talked about in Article 1 about, you know, a bill being passed, and, you know, they have so many days except for Sundays. And then, as well as the place of Jesus Christ in history, when they signed it at the end, when they ended the Constitution before they signed it, they put the date in there, and they said, they actually spelled it out, in the year of our Lord. And that was a reference to Jesus in history and the significance of the Christian calendar being used throughout history. So according to the thinking of the ACLU and a host of liberal educators, politicians, and judges, the Constitution is unconstitutional. So folks, beware of soundbite liberals. Beware of liberals that base their whole ideology on sound bites and do not go any further than that to investigate whether they're true or not. These are my morning thoughts for September 7th, the year of our Lord 2015. Have a happy Labor Day, folks, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock on the show at blogtalkradio.com/Dan-Clements.